behalf of the Planning Commission, I'd like to welcome our residents and viewers to this regular meeting of February 10th, 2026. On tonight's agenda, we have two discussion items. Before we get to those, we've got some what I'll call housekeeping items. But Tony, you want to start with the first one?
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commission members. On behalf of staff, I would just like to welcome our two newest Commission members, Mr. Gary Rutherford and Miss Elizabeth Ellis, or Lisa Ellis. Just would like to thank you for your service and your time and welcome you to the Commission.
Thank you very much for serving the residents of this community. We appreciate it. February is our organizational meeting, so with that comes the election of our two officers, a chair and vice chair, and then also the appointment of commissioners to various committees. So at this time, I'll turn the meeting over to our planning manager, Tony Whippler.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, this is the time of year where we ask the commission to elect a chair and a vice chair for the commission. Member Roddy served as chair in 2025 and numerous years prior to that, with former Commissioner Teskey serving as vice chair. So at this point, I will ask for a nomination from the group for chair. If anybody would like to.
I would nominate Dirk as chair.
Is there a second?
I will second.
Mr. Roddy, will you accept?
That's fine, I will accept it, yes.
All right. We will take a nomination then for vice chair next.
I would nominate Phil.
I will second that.
Mr. Winshuttle, will you accept?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Tony. As I mentioned also, we have various committees that this commission assists with, works on. A lot of them are dealing with our adjoining townships and the city of Empire. Usually it's a commissioner, a council member, and staff that'll work with it. So I'll go through it and inquire from the different commissioners. The first one is the Empire Farmington Planning Advisory Committee. Commissioner Winshuttle, would you serve on that committee?
Yes.
And we got the Castle Rock Discussion Group. Commissioner Rutherford, would you serve on that?
Yes, I will.
And then we got the Eureka Farmington Planning Group. Commissioner Berg, will you serve on that?
I will.
Then we got what's called the MUSA Review Committee. This is made up of a number of different organizations within the city, city council, planning commission, school district, and really what it looks at is the growth of Farmington, the MUSA, which is Sanitary Sewer Extension. Commissioner Ellis, will you serve with me on that committee?
I will.
All right, then we have our committee assignments. Is there a motion for the approval of this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Berg.
Yes.
Winshuttle.
Yes.
Roddy.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Rutherford.
Yes.
All right, thank you, everybody. Those will be our 26 committee members then. We'll move into our discussion items. The first one is a zoning amendment request. The applicant is Mark Ackerman, Pilot Knob Properties out on the industrial park. Tony, you'll take this?
I will. Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commission members. If you recall, a similar discussion was held about a year ago on this same property. The property is located at 5465 212th Street West, so right on the corner, northeast corner of Pilot Knob and County Road 50. The property contains three different buildings. Two of which are currently occupied. The third is vacant right now. The property is zoned MUCI, which is our mixed-use commercial industrial. What they would like to do is, again, bring back the conversation on basically auto repair major. They have a potential tenant who currently has a business out on Minnesota 50 on the east side of town called Sean's Truck Repair. And they would like to potentially lease space out of that third building over there. And basically they do large truck repair, so on semis, RVs, things like that, larger vehicles. Auto repair major currently is neither permitted or conditional use in the MUCI district. In order to allow this tenant to move in, one of two things would either have to happen. There would need to be amendment to the MUCI district to either allow auto repair major as a conditional or permitted use, or there would need to be a rezoning of the property to a district that would allow that type of use. Right now, our code allows auto repair major in 3 zoning districts, those being the B2 downtown business, B3 general business, and our Spruce Street mixed use zone. And as far as the mixed use, the use must be contained entirely within the building itself. Or we don't allow any of those changes. Those are basically the options that are before us. I do want to mention that with regards to the auto-related businesses, so auto repair major, auto repair minor, auto sales, probably 10 years ago, there was a large discussion both at the Planning Commission and City Council regarding those uses. And based off of those discussions, we really limited where those uses could go. And hence that's why you only see them in essentially 3 districts right now, of which the B3 is a very limited or small district that we have in this community. But there was a concerted effort to try to, I don't want to say rein in those businesses, but to make those areas a little more attractive, I guess, because sometimes these type of businesses have a lot of exterior storage and can be a little bit of I don't want to say necessarily an eyesore, but they can create some issues with some neighbors potentially. So there was that concerted effort a handful of years ago to deal with that. There's a couple things that are that we'll be working on as a commission and as a city as a whole over the next year, 2 years. 2 things: the 2050 comprehensive plan update, along with a zoning code update as well, looking at not only the downtown but the overall districts as a whole. So this could be a potential where we look at that corner, see if there's a better, more appropriate type of use at that corner. Not committing to anything, but at this point, I think it could be something that we could look at as part of those processes. So,
All right, thank you, Tony. Let's remind the commission just what Tony had mentioned, that commission, along with staff and the city council, will be working on the comp plan and the zoning code real soon, this year. So I just want to leave that with you before our discussion. Let's start with Commissioner Winchuttle.
Yeah, I think you made a good point, I think, about looking at this with, the changes to the comp plan, certainly. I guess in question to this lot, is this lot big enough for this type of business?
they do have quite a bit of property on the backside of it that would accommodate, at least from what I've been told, would accommodate what this gentleman is looking to do.
And another question is, in her email, she states, R&L and the bus company both, do they both fix semis and buses on their property?
They do have some of that. The difference is that the uses for R&L and the bus company, their main function isn't auto repair. Their main function is to be a truck terminal and a bus garage. They just happen to have a small facility where they can fix their own vehicles if necessary. So it's not a general auto repair type of use. That's not the main use of the property.
And so she's looking at getting this whole corner
Potentially
changed. Okay. No, I think those are just a couple of questions I had. I think it's personal opinion. I think it'd be best to look at it with everything else in review of the 2050 comp plan.
All right, thank you, Phil. Commissioner Berg.
Yeah, kind of along the same lines. Is the bus company and R&L, I know, is zoned industrial right now?
So is the bus company.
Bus company is too. Okay, so it's really just this one corner.
It is.
not.
It
Okay.
is. And if you'll recall, as part of RNL, we did do a rezoning of a portion of their property. Originally, it was, I think, 550 feet on that quarter from 208th to County Road 50 that was zoned this mixed-use commercial industrial, and that was done 15, 20 years ago.
Right.
So,
I remember that from our recent conversations. That's kind of why I was asking. So, okay. For me, I agree with Commissioner Winchidle that I think this is part of the larger discussion. I don't have an issue with maybe adjusting for that, considering what other places are around there, but I do think it belongs in the larger conversation versus a one-off discussion.
Thank you, Andy. Commissioner Ellis?
I agree. I think it's best that we have this discussion as part of the rezoning. But just a couple questions about the property itself. It's about 3¼ acres, that property. And Pilot Knob's a limited access road, County Road 50 is a limited access road. So the only point of access is going to be what's existing, right?
correct.
Okay, that's helpful. So anyway, I agree. We should just have this discussion as part of the larger discussion with the comp plan.
Thank you, Lisa. Commissioner Rutherford?
I would tend to agree with the other commissioners on the whole aspect of with the reevaluation of everything going to take place this year, that we should just consider it in the larger context of the citywide reevaluation. I do have one question, Tony. If you know, why was that, or what was the reasoning behind the MUCI designation for that property, and what used to be, what was rezoned with the RNL expansion?
That was originally done when that was 2006, I believe, is when that changed. And it was part of some negotiations with the Mr. Pat Regan when he was developing the RNL piece at the time. Because originally it was that entire piece was industrial. So that was part of the negotiations with him at that time to basically have a corridor to allow more commercial type of uses versus strictly industrial.
Okay,
So,
that helps. Thank you.
Thanks, Gary. And I agree with the other commissioners. They were great questions. We can discuss the pros and cons of either rezone or anything else in the midst of our comp plan update. I think that's the time to do it. This is going to be an important road, important corner, I think, right here for the community. But we can discuss what we feel should be on it or not on it at that time.
absolutely.
But Tony, at this time, can you get back to the to Ms.
Absolutely.
Ackerman and let her know, really the reason the commission that I heard anyway was that we're in the middle of starting a comprehensive plan update.
Yep.
And also a zoning code, and that we, at this point, aren't ready to commit and discuss the pros and cons of what should or shouldn't be there.
Absolutely.
All right, is that enough for this item
That
for
is
you then?
more than enough to get back to
All
me.
right, thank you. We'll move on to our second discussion item, that's the open meeting law. And Tony, you're discussing this with us every year.
I do. It's more of a reminder, but with two new commissioners, I feel it's even more appropriate this year. Included in your packet is some information from the League of Minnesota Cities regarding the open meeting law. Basically, some high points. Open meeting law serves three vital purposes. One, it prohibits actions from being taken at a secret meeting where the interested public cannot fully be informed of decisions made by the body or detect improper influences. Two, it ensures the public's right to be informed. And three, it gives the public an opportunity to present its views on things that are being discussed at the meeting. In addition to that, there are a number of high-level things that I just kind of want to run through regarding open meeting law, things that the commission should try to achieve or not do. First is avoid gathering in a quorum. That would be 3 or more members of this board. Outside of a regular meeting, if a quorum is present at a social gathering, please do not discuss business is the main thing to know there. There are a few exceptions to this law. These typically pertain strictly to the city council for things such as labor negotiations or even a sale of a property, things like that. Those are typically held on closed meetings. Serial discussions between less than a quorum could violate the open meeting law under certain circumstances, so try to avoid phone calls, emails, or text, and social media to discuss city business. If you do discuss business, make sure it's at a meeting. And then any person who intentionally violates open meeting law is subject to a civil penalty of up to $300 for a single occurrence. And just so you know, the public body will not pay for that violation. So those are kind of the highlights. As you go through the information, if you have questions, feel free to reach out. We can certainly have a more in-depth discussion, but I wanted to at least present you with information so you can be informed. So,
All right, thank you, Tony. Were there any questions for Tony on the open meeting law? All right, if not, was there anything else from staff?
the only thing I do want to mention is on March 9th, we will be having a special meeting with the city council at 6 o'clock to talk comprehensive plan and zoning. So,
Okay, and Tony, as usual, will you send a reminder out to the commission and any information that you feel is important for us to look at ahead of time?
absolutely.
All right, I appreciate that. Anything else from the commission? If not, I'd look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second?
Motion and second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're officially adjourned, thank you.